You ever wonder what really separates the people who crumble at the first sign of trouble from the ones who seem to get stronger no matter what life throws at them? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to build a mind that is just unbreakable. We've got 6 really powerful science-backed techniques. Okay, let's dive right in. We all know these two kinds of people, right? On one side, you've got the person who just breaks. Their life sounds like a constant loop of, why is this happening to me? They complain, they point fingers, and they take everything so personally. But then on the other side, you have the person who rises. They face the exact same challenges, but instead of falling apart, they move forward and they actually get stronger because of it. So what is it? What's the fundamental difference that separates the person who shatters from the one who becomes completely unbreakable? The answer, really, it's just 2 words: mental strength. And look, this isn't something you're just born with, it's a skill you have to build. And today, we're going to start building your toolkit. So, the first, and honestly the most critical tool in that kit, is all about taking your power back from the outside world and putting it right back where it belongs, in your own hands. There's a term for this in psychology. It's called your locus of control. Now, someone with an external locus of control believes life just happens to them. They're kind of like a victim of whatever's going on. But mentally strong people, they operate from an internal locus of control. They believe that no matter what's happening around them, they are the ones who decide what happens next. I mean, think about a real-world example like Keanu Reeves. The guy has been through more loss than most people could even imagine. Stuff that would make anyone bitter and angry. But he chose grace. He chose growth. He zeroed in on the things he could actually control: his reaction, his work, his kindness to others. That right there, that is a powerful internal locus of control in action. So the key takeaway here is this one simple switch. The next time you hear yourself starting to say, "I can't because," I want you to just stop and instead ask yourself, okay, what can I do about it? That single question starts to rewire your entire brain for ownership and for resilience. Okay, so taking ownership, that's the foundation. But what do you do when you're in the heat of the moment? You know, when your emotions feel like they're just completely spiraling out of control. Let's move on and see how this all connects. The number I need you to remember is this one: 90. Just 90 seconds. Seriously, this is your secret weapon when you feel like your emotions are hijacking you. Okay, so here's how it works. A Harvard neuroscientist, Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, figured out that when an emotion gets triggered, all those stress chemicals that flood your body, well, they take exactly 90 seconds to naturally flush themselves out. If you can just wait, breathe, and not pour more fuel on that fire for just a minute and a half, that emotional wave will pass and the logical part of your brain can actually come back online. The problem is, during that 90-second wave, most of us, we do refuel the emotion. Our inner voice sounds exactly like this: panicked, first-person thoughts that just keep us stuck in all that emotional chaos. But there's a really powerful way to break that cycle. This little trick is called self-distancing. It's so simple. All you do is talk to yourself in the third person, using your own name, just like you would to a friend. The second you do that, you create this psychological space. It literally calms down the emotional centers in your brain and kicks the logical problem-solving part into gear. You know, if you've ever seen Tony Stark talk himself through a panic attack in the movies, that's exactly what he's doing. It is a total game changer. So we have ownership and we've got tactics for the heat of the moment. Now let's talk about the long game, how to proactively build some real mental armor so that the challenges of the future just feel smaller. The endurance athlete David Goggins has this incredible quote. Think about it. Just like lifting weights gives you calluses on your hands so you can lift even more, intentionally putting yourself through discomfort calluses your mind. It makes you tougher and way more resilient to all the precious life is going to throw at you anyway. The fancy scientific term for this is stress inoculation training, but just think of it like a vaccine for stress. You expose yourself to these small, manageable doses of discomfort on purpose, you know, like taking a cold shower or finishing a really tough workout when you just want to quit, and that builds up your mind's immunity for the bigger, real-world stuff. Now, the second part of your mental armor, and this is so important, is learning how to protect your emotional energy. It's the difference between caring about someone and carrying their problems. See, when you just care, your mirror neurons can actually cause you to absorb their stress, and that leads straight to burnout. But mentally strong people, they practice caring. They offer support, but with a compassionate distance because they get that not all feelings are theirs to carry. This is absolutely vital for the long haul. But here's the thing. Mental strength isn't built in a vacuum. Doing hard things, protecting your energy, that's all critical. But the final, and you could argue the most important piece of your toolkit, is your support system. We're talking about building a real psychological safety net. And this is not about having hundreds of friends. It's about having a small circle of people who actually regulate your nervous system. When you feel seen and supported by them without any judgment, your body's stress hormone, cortisol, it literally drops. These are the people who calm you down, not complicate your life. A perfect modern-day example is the friendship between Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez. I mean, think about the insane, constant public pressure they face their whole lives. But they provide each other with this protected, safe emotional space. Their relationship isn't for show, it's a genuine safety net that helps them stay grounded in a world that is constantly trying to tear them apart. So let's recap the whole toolkit really quick. First, you take ownership by shifting to an internal locus of control. Second, use that 90-second rule to let those emotional waves just pass. Third, use self-distancing to respond with logic, not just emotion. Fourth, do hard things on purpose to callous your mind. Fifth, learn to care for others without carrying all their burdens. And finally, number 6, build your psychological safety net. These 6 tools, they are the blueprint for becoming mentally unbreakable. But knowing about them isn't the same as actually using them. So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. Which one of these tools will you add to your toolkit first, starting today?